Hello everyone, this is Saroj Tripathi, and today I'm going to you guys through my project installing PiSignage player on Raspberry Pi 4. It should be You should be able to follow this guide for any other Raspberry Pis. It's just like there might be few packages or few extra installation or process to go over with for any other Raspberry Pis lower than 4, but it shouldn't be that complex. So let's go over the digital signage system first. So digital signage is an electronic display of images, videos, web contents, and other information on the screen. We can see digital signage being used on restaurants to display menu on the screen. Likewise, we can see signage systems on museums, libraries, schools, universities, and many other places. So this project is divided into two parts. One is installing a server, and then another one is installing PiSignage player on Raspberry Pi. So I'll walk you guys through both steps. So let's go over the requirement of what we actually need for this project. You can find at the beginning of this document that for PiSignage player setup we need Raspberry Pi 4, compatible power supply, HDMI cable, and class 10 SD card. Generic SD card, you can use them, but if you want to use them in the long run, they might not be suitable for this project. They seems to be crashing after like few hours of work. Likewise, we need a monitor or TV to display your content. For server, we need Intel based CPU. This is my personal computer I'm working on right now, so it doesn't require a lot of hardware specifications to install server for PiSignage player. Also, we will be working on Linux based OS. We need a hard disk to store our media content and minimum of 2 GB memory. So I'm using Ubuntu 20.04 LTS version. For this project I'm using fresh install Ubuntu. So now let's get started with this. So first I will install crawl. This will help us download packages of the internet. If you guys want to use wget or any other, that's up to you. Okay, there you go. Alright, after that we will install Node server.js. So basically this is an open source server framework. This will help connect our PiSignage player to our server with HTTP module. So let's copy this and paste it here. Alright, so basically this Node.js will help whenever we try to console in from web browser. So this Node.js will help to connect that HTTP web browser to our server. There you go. Alright, so after that we will install mpeg. So this will basically, this is a video editor that will be used by our server to edit videos. This step will verify that the video editor has been installed by showing us the version. As you can see, okay. Okay. Alright, so now there you go. If you want to check decoders, there we go. Now we will install Image Magic. So this is image editor that will also be used by the server. Okay, so now we will install our database management software for our server. I will be installing Mongodb. Let's add the key. Oh, dash key doesn't work. Okay, now the key has been added to our repository. Okay, now let's update our packages, and finally let's install MongoDB OS, and yes. Okay, our MongoDB database has been installed. So now let's install Git. This will help us to clone repository from GitHub. Okay, now let's clone to the PiSignage server repository on GitHub. Oops, missed. You can see here again. Okay. After that, we'll make a directory called media, and then inside media we'll create one more directory, thumbnails. After that, we will go into PiSignage player that has been cloned to the GitHub repository. Now we will install npm as a network packet manager. Sometime it will throw up a few errors. We can fix them, it's not a big deal. Okay, so there's some error. Okay, here run npm fix or npm fix them. So we will run that command. Okay, we will still have error here. npm fix force. All right. Okay, so now we will open port 3000. So our server will be listening on port 3000. Okay, so it's been updated now. All the required packages will be installed. Now let's start our MongoDB database. First, let's check whether it's been running or not by this command, and it says system. Okay, so command ctl, and it's been active and running. So if you want to stop MongoDB database, then type sudo systemctl stop MongoDB. Okay, now let's open up another tab. Actually, let's just use this. Actually, not. There you go. So now we will start node server with this command, and you'll see this. Alright, so now our node server is also running on background. Okay, so at this point you should be able to log into your server through web browser. So there are two ways you can access this through web browser. One would be typing IP address or typing localhost. So open web browser, paste it, and then specify which port you want to go to, and the username and password for this would be pi and pi. You can change it later on. Alright, so here at this point, so this is asking for account name that you are using to log into PiSignage.com. Also, you guys, how to create an account on PiSignage.com. Okay, actually let's get started with that. So go to PiSignage.com. Okay, looks like I'm already logged in. I'm gonna log out and show you guys. Let's try again. There you go. So you go here and then do sign up, and then you pick a username and password. So I have already an account. I will just log into it. So after you successfully log in, this is where you will get your license from. So before we get our license, we need to register our player. That would be our PiSignage player. So let's okay, to register or to get the license, you need a 16-digit player ID. So for that we need to install PiSignage player on a Raspberry Pi, and then we will get our player ID from there. So let's install PiSignage player on our Raspberry Pi. So for this we will go to this link. Oops. And then you'll just do save. I already have it on my, I have already downloaded this, so you guys should be able to download it from there. And now I will show you how to get SD card ready. So I'll be using Etcher to flash my SD card. You guys can use Rufus or whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay, so this is how it looks. You will select your image, PiSignage image, open it, select a target, your SD card, and then flash. It will take like 10 to 15 minutes to get the SD card ready, and after it's done, take out the SD card, and we just need to put that in a Raspberry Pi and then run it. I'll show you that in a little bit. Okay guys, here I have Raspberry Pi 4, and then I have micro SD card that's ready to go. It has PiSignage player installed, bound on it. Likewise, I have Ethernet cable, mini HDMI port, and then power adapter. So let's get this Raspberry Pi ready and boot up. Okay. Okay, now it's ready to go. I have everything hooked up. I have micro SD card inside it. Now let's boot this thing up. So this is where we will get our player ID. Now we'll take this player ID and enter it on the PiSignage.com website. Okay, now since we have our player ID, we will register our player. So that would be 0000 F8203C31. Okay, assign group default, time zone. Now, and I'll just get player license from here. Now go to subscription and license. You should see license issued. You will download it, save a file. Okay, here it is. Now we will go to our PiSignage server. Let's see, we'll go host. Okay, 3000. Pi. Now I'll give the account name. Okay, so there you go. So the first thing we will do is go to settings, and if you want to add SSH, you can do it here. You can change your username and password here. So first thing we'll do is upload our license. So it should be on downloads, open, and now this has been added. Now if you go here, go to assets to add your photos and videos, all the media content. So add, upload photos, content, and this. Open it, to continue, and here are your pictures. Let me show you guys how to add links. So assign, we'll go to add link, give a name, and select You want to do web page, RSS feed, messages, YouTube videos, and a link. So we can add a playlist. Also let's do playlist side. We'll need that. Also we will use split screens to equal side zones, and we will assign assets to this playlist. This will be a single one. Actually, let's do this. This will be our single one, and this will be our two-zone screen. Okay, then we'll go to playlist 1, assign assets. We'll assign pictures to it. There you go. We'll assign these links. We'll go to playlist again. We'll assign assets. So no, I don't want to do this. I want to add a video, and on the side of a video I want to use my playlist. Done. There you go. And now we will go to player. We'll go to default, and we'll assign a playlist to that player, and we'll do deploy. Okay, just no player. Okay, no player associated. Okay, that is how you deploy it. So before we deploy it, we need to make sure our Raspberry Pi is getting content off of our server. So we need to set up our Raspberry Pi first. So let's log into our Raspberry Pi through web console. So for that, enter the IP address shown on your TV screen to log into the Raspberry Pi player. Here, now we will do settings. This is where you can change your IP addresses if you need to. For the server, here it is. This is not the IP address of my server. The IP address of my server is, let's change this to 128 and change. The server has been configured. Now let's try to deploy it.